Okay, it's late because I passed out from 4:30 to 8, or almost 8:30 actually. Woke myself up. I need to eat supper, but I remembered, oh, math videos, and like I said, it's late, so I'm hoping, knowing y'all are probably already in bed, but maybe you can at least watch it in the morning. And hopefully you've already looked through it on your own, so maybe it'll just be touching up then. So I would pull out my reference material and have the kids have their own, not yours in your desk, but like their own, so they can have the notes on their papers that go home with them. I know y'all said y'all found sleeves, so that's great. I would remind them that this asterisk, the star, lets them know that this isn't a part of this reference guide that we've talked about. I went ahead and added time stuff. Maybe when y'all finish notes early someday, y'all can bring this in. It's just the 12 hours to 12 a.m. before, A comes before P, a.m.s, p.m.s, midnight, start of a new day, noon is past noon, past morning. 12 hours, same time, but different times a day, that thing. So I would tell them to go ahead and put a star over here. And we're talking about customary units today. Tomorrow we'll pull in metric units. And these are units of length. Now they say length, but here's what we're going to add. You can use inches and feet and centimeters and millimeters. We can use these to measure the length of our desk. L-E-N-G-H-T. G-T-H. I said that wrong, didn't I? The width of our desk. W-I-D-T-H. We can even use these to measure height. H-E-I-G-H-T. Or here's one a lot of people don't talk about, but definitely could be. Depth. D-E-P-T-H. Like how like deep is the ocean? How high does the airplane fly? How deep does the sub go? How long is it? How wide? So it says length, which I really dislike. So here we're talking about these units, and let's highlight our units and say them. Miles. So miles are units. So let's highlight the unit. Mile. Yards. Yard again. Y'all say them with me. Feet. That's plural, more than one. One is a foot. Inches. Kilometer, kilometer, tomato, tomato. Meters, centimeters, millimeters. These are units. Remember, like years, weeks, months, those are units of time. These are our units of length. There are units of width. There are units of height. There are units of depth, how deep it goes. They're units. And we're only going to concentrate on customary today. Say customary. All right, customary. I want y'all to either highlight U.S. or underline it, box it. Customary U.S. is the United, and yes, we're going to spell it out, United States. Capitalized, proper nouns. The U.S. is the United States. These units are only units of length, width, and height and depth that people in the United States use. All over the world, other countries, European countries, Spain, France, Germany, Asian countries, Russia, China, African countries, South American countries, Mexico. Nobody uses these units except us in the United States. Everyone else uses the metric system because they're genius. I do tell the kids these things. Genius. This system is simple. Ours is not. Whoever decided, oh, I think the United States should have a separate system. Arrgh. Because someone did that and you live in the United States, you must learn your United States units. But you must also learn the metric units because you're like, well, why? That's the rest of the world. True, the rest of the world uses these for everything. But guess what? Science is based on the metric system. So when you're in science classes in the United States, guess what they're using? Metrics. So because of science class, you must learn metrics. And why? Because Science class would be like doctors and medicines. And, you know, if you ever think about it, a lot of the little medicine caps have both ounces in liquids, and then they also have like milliliters. So that's why rulers, you've got the US side with inches on the ruler, but then on the other side, you've got the centimeter and millimeter. And that's one thing I don't have at the house is a ruler, and I wish I did. So when I'm going to talk about a ruler, yes, here's a ruler. Notice it says centimeters. This is us. This is us as in the US, the United States. This would be on our ruler. And on the flip side, and I'd flip over a ruler, would be the millimeters, which would be the metric side. So all that to say, so I take a little bit of time just to discuss that, yeah, it says length, but these are, you can use these inches to measure how long, how wide, how high, how deep, all that kind of stuff. And we talk about how today we're going to focus on our U.S. units, but I tell the kids why they're having to learn both. That when construction workers or carpenters or architects are building, they're going to be using inches, feet, yards. We go down the highway, we're seeing miles. This is what we see. The rest of the world doesn't see miles. You go to Mexico, you're looking in kilometers. But we must learn these because when you're in science classes, in 5th grade STAR test, any science test, any science class, they use metrics because science must be, I guess, universal across the world. Because again, science is medical, like, you know, medicines. When you're talking about inventions or whatnot, they need to speak the same language. And in measurement, that would be metric. If that makes sense to y'all. I don't know if it'll make sense to the kids. I always tell them. All right, so then we come to our notes. There are only notes today. There is no assignment. And that's because by the time you do fluency and take time to really do some good discussions and get through notes, it's going to take most of class. So again, we highlight and talk about this is us, the United States. We should abbreviate with periods because it stands for United States. All right, so blank are on a ruler. Inches, and because it's the start of a sentence, we're going to capitalize it. Proper noun. Inches are on a ruler. Are these the real side of inches? No. Poop on a stick. Sorry, just realized I made y'all label this, if you did. No. Centimeters are metric. So you should have put US, us on the side with inches, which I don't have the back side, but make sure you don't make that mistake. So again, centimeters, that is not us. So don't do that. Write the us and the US on the side with inches. It would be on the back side. Okay. An inch is about the size of your index knuckle. And 4th graders do have to recognize size. So I tell them, like, I show them on my overhead right here. This right here, this spot, link to link, that is about 1 inch. And then I take the ruler on the back side, which this is not the inches, so you'd be on the inches, and I lay down my knuckle, and I show them that, like, it's about 1 inch. And I ask them to do that, and I might get up to make sure they understand. So this is something I'll quiz them on for days and weeks. Show me an inch. Bam. That's an inch. So why do I have this then? You're like, well, because I want kids to understand that rulers contain inches. So when you think of inches, think of a ruler. Think of this 1 inch as the size of a knuckle. Okay, I want y'all to spread your arms open wide like this kid. So, and I usually tell them to, you know, like bend their wrist and fist. So it would be hard to see. I don't know if you can, but like you open your arm but kind of bend your wrist in like this. And you would be doing this from this side to that side. And the space from this arm to this arm, this in between would be about a yardstick. So from like here to here is about a yard. Now I'll tell the kids, about. What does about mean? Close. So this is not exact. It's close. It's guesstimation. Estimation, but we're guessing. You get it? Guesstimation. So this is about 1 yardstick. Now, I realized that I skipped something because I added this last year, and I don't think that my printer, when I printed this, I don't think I printed my newest one. Sorry. So inches, like your knuckle would be 1 inch. If you have, by the way, this would be 0. We'd add that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This would be 12. Sorry, so before you go to yard, do inch, inches, and 12 inches. Have them write it out, it won't hurt them. Equals 1 foot, which is a ruler. A foot is 1 ruler. So just so y'all know, when I taught this unit and then in tomorrow when I review and the next day, if I said show me an inch, bam. Okay, how many inches, no, I'd say show me an inch, bam. What's something in this room that I could easily grab that's 1 foot? And I would, get them to say a ruler. So I'd pull out the ruler. That's right. How many inches are on a ruler? 12. Yes, 12 inches is 1 foot. So that's how I'd connect that. Then I'd come over here and I'd say, look at these. This is 12 inches. So let's write foot, foot, foot. Three feet, which is right here. 3, and let's write the word out. 3 feet. Why don't I write 3 foot? Yeah, foot is singular. You have more than 1 foot. We're going to say feet. So foot is 1, feet become plural. 3 feet is how many inches? Well, let's see. How many inches are in this foot? 12. 12 inches plus 12 inches plus 12 inches. So 12 plus 12 plus 12. 3 groups of 12 is 36 inches in all. That's 1 yard. So a ruler plus a ruler plus a ruler is a yardstick. I often will say, you and you, come here, please. And I'll get 2 kids to hold it or 3 kids to hold it. And I'll have them to stand side to side with a ruler, ruler, ruler. And then I'll come nearby and open up my arms or something. And we'll show that, this is 1 foot. How many inches? 12. Another foot, another foot. 3 feet, 3 rulers is a yardstick. Show me an inch. Bam. Show me a foot, a ruler. 3 rulers, 3 feet. Bam, open your arms up, yardstick. And then if you gather up, and I do skip like this, 1,760 yardsticks. So not 1,760 feet, 1,760 yardsticks, you'd be getting 1 mile. That's a lot of rulers lined up. So I would tell the kids, I would get these 3 to stand up again and go, that's 1 yardstick. We're talking about 1,760 of these in a line to hit what a mile is. Now, y'all are always really good, y'all as in students, about telling me that miles are on the highway, and you're right. But I want y'all to know I've seen on questions that, yes, distances between cities, yes, on the highway. But it also is how high a helicopter airplane is going to be flying. Now, helicopters, they might be lower if they're spraying fields, same with airplanes. But if you're talking about high up in the air, they're miles up. Also, depth of the ocean. You're a submarine going deep. You're miles down. Long distances, they're measured in yards. Long distances are measured in miles. And just 1 mile is 1,760 yardsticks. 1 mile. Now, I do tell the kids this. It also can be long, walking distances. Like a track. The tracks around the football field, you might even write football field. If you make 1, 2, 3, 4 laps around the football field, you've walked or ran 1 mile. School. If this is our school, the elementary, you've got the parking lot. You've got the elementary building. You've got the elementary building. This is a horrible spot to draw this, so here we go again. Parking lot. You've got the kinder hallway. You've got the other hallway. You've got all the portables. See, this is a horrible spot still. But if you walked these huge blocks, you know, the playground area, it takes 2 of these to make a mile. So I talked to the kids about that. I wouldn't necessarily make them draw that, but that doesn't hurt them. So if you're walking or riding a bike, I would say more than 25, 30 minutes. You're definitely probably in the miles. All right, so y'all read the directions for the next part as a class. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, we're going to choose a customary unit. Customary, who is that? Us. So we're going to choose a United States unit of measurement. So again, we're going to be choosing inches or feet or yards or miles, because these are our United States length, width, height, and depth units. You can look up here for size. Before we start, show me inches. What's a yard? What could I grab that's okay, good, a ruler. Good. How many inches? 12. Okay, if I put 3 of these together, right, a foot. Open y'all's arms wide. About that far, that's a yardstick. 1,760 yardsticks, miles. Good thing we don't have to memorize any of that because all of these are on the chart. I still know that 5,280 feet is a mile because we had to memorize it, I feel like. All right, anyway, spelling should be exact because they're listed here and on the chart. All right, if we wanted the length of the whiteboard, I don't want y'all to answer out loud. I want y'all to think. Length of the whiteboard. So think in your head, would you measure the whiteboard in inches or feet or yardsticks or miles? All right, y'all answer out loud together. Go. Probably most of them are going to say the right answer. Some may say feet. Inches is the worst. I don't want to go off to the whiteboard and go 1, 2, and I literally go stand up there and like do that. That takes, could you do it? Yes. But the most reasonable, the one that makes the most sense, well, we're going to want to do things quickly but correctly. Feet, not bad. You could put ruler after ruler after ruler, but notice 3 rulers, and I'd go the whiteboard. It's more than 3 rulers. So if it's more than 3 rulers in length, I'm going to hit yardsticks because that's going to be the most reasonable. Yard, which is abbreviated YD period. And once we've abbreviated and written it one time, then I start using the abbreviations. And I always point out to the kids that not only does the star chart say yards, it shows you the abbreviations as well. Yards. Okay, read the next one, girls. Okay, boys, what are we looking for? The length of a computer screen. So I'd show them the monitor. We're talking about this space of the computer. Don't say it out loud. And use the vocabulary, y'all. What unit would we use? Would we use inches, feet, yards, or miles? Go. They might say inches. They may say foot. In either way, I would accept it on this. And I tell the kids that. If you put up a ruler to a computer monitor, it is literally about 1 foot, 12 inches. And that's what I'd ask him. Okay, well, what is a foot? 12 inches. So if you're talking about 1 singular foot, I don't think inches is a bad answer. Now, if it's 2 feet or 3 feet, you shouldn't be saying inches. So if you said inches or feet, you are correct. So INCHES, inches, or a foot. Because we're not talking about plural. We're not talking about more than 1. So I'd make them write it and abbreviate for that connection. All right, read the next one, boys. Girls, what are we looking for? The distance between our elementary and North Walmart. This should be easy, everyone. If we're going to drive from the school to Walmart, we're measuring in what unit? Miles is correct. MILES. MI period. We put periods when we abbreviate because it's telling someone it's shortened. All right. Y'all look at the next 2 by yourselves. What would we highlight on number 4? Yep, length of a pencil. High a helicopter flies. All right, your pencil right here. Let's see, inches. Get out the ruler. A foot. Nope, foot's too big, so we can abbreviate because we already have inches right here. Helicopter height. Well, helicopters are not usually buzzing right over your head. They're pretty far up, and they're usually far enough up to hit a mile, so we're going to say miles, which is M-I, period. You've already got it abbreviated right there. All right, so that's just reasoning. You could take it a little bit further for a second and go like, what would you measure the length of the classroom door in? Yards. The window, yards. To the walls, yards. Sorry, I didn't say it. So if you know it, that's your fault, not mine. Convert. Conversions. Convert means to change, and they do need to write that. When you convert, you're changing units. For example, we're going to convert yards to FT. What is that? Feet, yeah. Or FT feet to inches. And you can use your conversions by either using T-charts, pictures, repeated addition, multiplication. The main idea is that whatever you're doing, show it. That way, if you don't get it right, I know where you messed up. Because convert, look right here. Convert means to change. Won't hurt him to write it twice. Doesn't hurt us to write it twice because read it, write it, say it. When you say your kids don't know the vocabulary, ding, ding, ding. They do not know if one or two don't know, but if a majority you ask them a question and it's silence, it's because you have not read it, write it, and said it enough. You plug it in there often and continually throughout the year. Show your work. And here's what I tell to the people who go, oh, well, I do it in my head. Well, great. If you're doing it in your head, it should be really easy to write down. Now, if it's a student that is emotional or maybe struggles learning disability-wise, I do not push them to show their work if they can do it in their head. We had a boy last year who sat at my back table, autistic and very bright. But definitely not someone I would want to challenge him, show your work, and then set him off. That wouldn't work. Plus, this kid was 85% of the time correct in his head. So if it's a kid 85% of the time correct, doing it in his head, I'm going to leave him alone if he's autistic, probably. Probably not going to push that button, or if they're ED, emotionally disturbed. Now, if it's a kid who has the ability, even a special education kid, if they have the ability and they're not emotionally, their balance of emotions is much simpler for them, definitely force them show their work. Like, I need you to show your work. The kid who's capable but in failing, well, dude, you need to show your work, obviously. Well, what if I'm making 90s and I don't show my work? Well, depending on what I think, just because you want to be lazy, show me your work. Doesn't hurt to show it. I'm going to use a T-chart. Or actually, in this one, I'm going to use 5 sticks. Because I think of yards as 5 yard sticks. Y'all draw this too. And I might get up while they're doing this. What are we wanting to convert yards to? Feet. All right, y'all look at the star chart. And you need to find the line yard to feet. Is this yard to feet? No. Here we go. 1 yardstick, 3 feet. That's right up here in the picture too. 1 yard is 3 feet. So this is 3, 3, 3. Yeah, repeated addition how many times? 5. 5 groups of 3 equals 15. Now here's what I mean. I could draw a picture. Another kid might just show the repeated addition. Another kid might just write me an equation of multiplication. It doesn't matter. One kid might just have 5 times 3 is 15. Great. I know the kid knows 5 groups of 3. Another one might draw it out. Perfect. No wrong way. 3 feet is how many inches? Well, look up here, y'all. 1 foot is 12. 3 feet is 12 plus 12 plus 12, which is 37. How do I show my work? I do this kind of thing. If it literally was my worksheet and it was homework and I had it already answered somewhere, I'm going to show you. I'm not guessing. It's right there. I'm genius. Oh, look, I have star chart stuff right there too. Inches to feet. On this one, I'll show you the T-chart. So we have inches, and we want to convert to feet. Well, the first place you go is your information. What do I know about inches and feet, or in inches in a foot? 12 inches in a foot. 1 foot. Now make sure you put the 1 under the right one. 1 under foot. 1 foot is 12. Now you definitely want to keep counting from the side that has 1. And every time, I want y'all looking up here, every time you add 1 on the feet, you add 12 on the inches. And we need to get to 60. So if I add another foot, 1 plus 1 makes 2. And if I add 1 foot, I add another set of 12, which makes 24. Kind of lining it up, see? Okay, I'm going to add a foot. If you add 1 foot, 2 becomes 3. Now look up here. When you add 1 more foot, you must add another set of 12. Well, another 12 is 36. All right, add another foot. Look, when you add 1 foot, you add 12. You could line it up. We're still not to 60 inches. Add a foot, and when you add a foot, what do we add? 12 inches. Well, 8 plus 2 is 10, 4, 5. There it is. 60 inches is the same thing as 5 feet. Could be a T-chart. Or if I realize that a foot times 12 is inches, 2 times 12 is 24, 3 times 12. So if this way is multiply, then the opposite way is divide. There's no wrong way. It depends on how our mind sees it. 2 miles. We want to convert 2 miles to yards. Here's how I think about it. 1 mile. 1 mile. How many yards are in a mile? 1,760. 1,760 yards is 1 mile. So this mile has 1,760 yards. This mile has 1,760 yards. 0, what's 6 plus 6? 12. 7's 14 plus 1 is 15. 1, 2, 3. 1 plus 1 is 2 miles is 3,520 yards. It's a lot of yardsticks. Showing my work. There's no wrong way to show your work. The only wrong way in math is being lazy and doing nothing. All right, girls, read us about Henry and his father. So Henry and the father watch the football game, blah, 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 blah. Okay, boys, what are we looking for? What do we summarize? We're looking for feet, quarterback loses or lost. Feet. Well, what do I know about the quarterback? The quarterback lost a total of 12 yards. So I should just write 12. Except that they asked about feet. If I'm wanting feet and they're in yards, I'm going to have to convert. What does convert mean? Change. We're going to have to convert these yards to feet. So y'all go ahead and write that now. Copy it down. Copy down this convert. So we want to change yards to feet. What could I use? Well, I think I'm going to use a T-chart. I like the T-charts. So we've got yards, and I need feet. Yards need to convert to feet. Well, you have to start with what you know about yards and feet. So if I don't know it, I don't have to know it. I don't have to memorize it. I can look. Come over here to your chart. Are these yards and feet? No. Yards and, yes, 1 yard, 3 feet. 1 yard has 3 feet. Make sure you put 1 under the right one. I see a lot of kids make that mistake. And you know what? This seems familiar to me. Hold on. Yeah. 5 yards was 15 feet. I'm going to throw that in here. 5 yards was 15 feet. Let's go back to rules. We talked about that a while back. A rule is a pattern or relationship in a table. See what I mean about read it, write it, say it? You bring it in many times. What's the rule from yard to feet? How does 1 increase to a 3? How do you increase in math? Yeah, you can either add or multiply. Well, as big kids, 4th graders, you better probably check multiply first. 1 times 3 is 3, right? Well, who has to follow rules? Everybody. Is 5 times 3 15? Ah, so the rule is yards times 3 equal feet. Yard numbers times 3 convert to feet. A yard times 3 becomes a foot, right? That's the pattern. Or you could work in reverse. The feet going backwards. Well, if feet move backwards, if one way is multiply, what's the other way? Divide. So, how many are we talking about? 12 yards. Plug it in on the yard side. How do yards convert to feet? Yards times 3 is feet. So, 36. Do we put it behind the decimal? No, we're not talking about 36 pieces. So we've got our ones, our tens, our hundreds. 36. Write it, fill it in. Okay. Girls, read it, or boys, read us about Lincoln and Isaac. So they're reading. I'm taking a drink. All right. Girls, summarize. What are we looking for? We want to know who was correct and explain. Who was correct and explain? Well, what does Lincoln say? Lincoln said the measurement was more than 3 feet. Isaac is arguing that it's less than 2. Well, what are we talking about? What measurement? 52 inches. Well, how can I answer this? What's the problem? Well, we're talking about this is inches, but they're talking about feet. So if we're in inches, but the answers are wanting feet, we're going to have to do what? Convert. Yeah, we're going to have to change. Well, here's what I know. 3 feet. Show me an inch. Bam. Can y'all tell me what a foot is? What's a foot? Oh yeah, a foot is a ruler. So 3 rulers, 12, 12, 12 inches, right? How many inches are 3 12s? So 3 feet is 36 inches. 2 feet, 2 rulers, 12 inches each, is 24 inches. So is 52 inches... Who's right? Lincoln says that this is more than 3 feet. Isaac says no, 52 is less than 2 feet. Who's right? Lincoln. How do I know? Well, the great thing in math is I can write in math sentences. Lincoln was right. Well, here's how I know. 52 inches is greater. 2 dots are greater than 1 than 36 inches. 2 dots, this 52 inches is greater than 36. That's how I know. That's my proof. My work is my explanation. All right, I'm going to read the last one. All right, what are we looking for? We want to know, does she have room for all animals? Justify your response. That means prove it, explain it. So she has this ledge. What is she wanting to put on the ledge? Well, she's wanting to put a teddy bear that's 8 inches wide. And then there's this dog. He's 4 inches wide. And then there's this giraffe, which is 3 feet wide. Sorry, I shouldn't have. Giraffe. And the ledge is 52 inches long. So the ledge itself is 52 inches. How am I going to know if all of these animals can fit on her ledge? Oh, you could put, yeah, part plus part plus part, right? This part plus this part plus this part would equal a whole amount, correct? What is the problem, though, right now? Why can I not just throw all three together? Giraffe is not in inches, is it? The ledge is in inches. This is inches, this is inches, this is inches. Who doesn't belong? Feet. So we need to change our feet to inches. Voila. 3 feet, 3 rulers, 36 inches. This is why when you do your work, it's really nice because a lot of times you can use it. So we've got 8 plus 4, so we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 plus 36. So if your ledge is 52 inches and you're only going to take up 48, do you have enough room? Yes. Explain. Well, because 48 inches is less. 1 dot is less than 2 dots. Sorry it took so long, but measurement is a lengthy process, especially if it's us, our units.